it's Jen with Astrology. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about the astrology of March. So it's kind of like an in like a lion. They say out like a lamb, but I think this is going to be more out like a lion because we end the month with our first eclipse in the eclipse series. But let's talk about the whole month, and this is all building up to huge changes coming in and huge energy coming in April. So let's get ready for what's to come. So we're talking about what we need to leave behind so that we can move forward with this new energy. So we start off the month on the 1st with the sun in Pisces sextile to Jupiter in Taurus. So the sun is up here, and of course I didn't have room because everything is in Pisces right now. So in a nice sextile, so nice, happy, flowy energy. So it's uplifting, fortunate, with like no boundaries. So we start off the month kind of with a no boundaries, no conformist kind of attitude, kind of like that. We want that permanent, that change the world, change perspective, open minds, and fix things for future generations. Like that Jupiter in that fixed sign of Taurus, fixing things to move forward. So the optimism of the beginning of the month, you know, we had, and I know today it was a fun day at work, really optimistic, having a good time, but that optimism, I think, is quickly going to get upended with Venus, and then Mars squaring Uranus. So this month. So the Venus square on the 3rd can lead to sudden bad choices, you know, testing stability of relationships and partnerships. So not only love relationships, but also just partnerships, maybe business partnerships, friendships, really close friendships. Might be feeling like smothered, like you want some freedom, you want that liberation. That's that Uranus. You need to break free, you need to get out, and you're just feeling like you're being like almost kind of captive, held back. So that is the Venus square with Uranus. We have Venus square to Uranus, but in between, before we get the square with Mars squaring Uranus, we have Mercury in a sextile with Uranus, and that is on the 4th. So some exciting, unexpected news might be coming up, and unexpected happenings. You might be something coming to light. So this could be in our personal lives. This could be on a more mundane level where we're hearing something maybe on the news that, like, oh, like that's a surprise. You know that, but it's going to be more positive because it is a sextile with Mercury. So I would say any unexpected news, any unexpected or sudden ideas, sudden revelations, they should be more on a positive side, and things coming to light. So also on the 4th, that's just happening earlier in the month with Mars sextile to the North Node, we have that omnipotent effect. So Mars becomes in a sextile with the North Node. The North Node is kind of like our karma, is our you know, what we're leading towards in this life. Mars is that drive, that ambition, and we feel like we can do no wrong. Like we are all powerful, like unkillable, unstoppable. We have that endurance to just push through. So this is going to be early in the month. So we have, like, you know, a lot of that energy with the square kind of breaking free with Venus, that breaking free from maybe something that's holding us back. And then, you know, the Mars really kind of pushing it forward right there. All kind of happening in the beginning of the month. Now this could be just something to do with, you know, small with work or on a mundane level. It could be something big, you know, with what's, you know, all going on in the world right now, which is so much. So pay attention to the news. If not, just see where this falls in your chart. Definitely pull your chart up for the month. A lot of stuff's going to be going on. You're going to want to see in what area and realms of your life that this is going to be taking place. So on the 8th, then we have Mercury conjuncting a Neptune in Pisces. So they're coming together, and it's like, I feel like someone is trying to maybe pull the wool over my eyes, maybe. Don't just hear what you want to hear. You know, don't see things with rose-colored glasses. See things for what they really are. And right now, with this conjunction, it might be kind of hard to see what's really going on. Hear and know the facts. Listen to the facts before making a decision. Don't just listen to what people are telling you. Know the facts. Are you being misled with maybe some previous information? Don't fall for it. Is a message going to come to us in our dreams, maybe? Is someone trying to tell us something? Maybe someone from another realm, maybe someone from that's passed on, that's trying to tell us something, or just, something that's coming into our gut. You want to watch that gut, that Mercury conjunct Neptune. It's messages coming in from an unexpected, kind of more that gut influence, instead of just like learning it. So on the 9th, we have Mars now in that square with Uranus, that rebelliousness, breaking free, a lot of that energy. We have to break free and let go in order to thrive and move forward. But as Venus and Mars eventually move into Pisces, 11th, Venus on the 11th anyway, Venus will be in its exaltation. So it's kind of like going to be a pennies falling from heaven type of vibe. Like you're going to just feel like everything just seems to be going right. Again, don't let those rose-colored glasses fool you. Things might seem all great, but might not be as great as they seem, So you want to be able to really, again, stick to the facts. And it's going to be hard this month. Pisces does make it hard. Pisces, kind of muddies our senses a little bit. So, things might not be just as cut and dry as we think. Mars on the 22nd is moving into Pisces. So I would expect at the end of the month to kind of feel that lack of motivation. Our feminine and masculine energy now are both in Pisces, so we might be feeling a little bit lazy, maybe a little bit confused, a little foggy-headed, a foggy road ahead that we're not sure like how to pass. We may get that kind of like why bother doing it attitude. You just don't have that motivation that you just previously had with Mars. Then we have the new moon in Pisces taking place on March 10th. So a lot of, stuff going on in the early part of March that's kind of going to feel a little like a roller coaster. So this is going to be at 20 degrees, 17 minutes of Pisces. So I said, get your charts up. See what's going on in your chart at 20 degrees of the mutable signs, especially Pisces. See how this may affect you. So with that lack of boundaries still, and lack of conformity, that, breaking open, bursting barriers, fogging barriers, and, we see that with what's going on in the world in so many different ways, with the border issues in a lot of places around the world, not just the United States. We have it on the northern and the southern border now. Well, southern and then northern border that we just heard about. This change is coming with this Pluto in Aquarius, this Uranus and Neptune are both changing signs in 2025. So these are big outer planet moves. So this doesn't just happen every year, every few months. This is big time, transitional, generational type stuff going on, and that we need to expect big changes going on with it. Some are afraid of this, like what's the change going to bring? What do you think? Are you afraid, or are you excited to see these changes? You've been watching all these videos, lots of astrologers are talking about these huge resets that are coming up. Are you in fear of them? Are you excited for them? What is your fear if you are fearful? This is the month that we need to kind of come to grips with that and figure out how we're going to work through these fears. This is really going to get prepared, because April is kind of going to be too late. Pisces can represent that unknown. So maybe we don't even know what we're scared of. So we really need to, kind of think about what we're doing. So I kind of, compare this to jumping into a dark lake. Say it's a really hot day and you're, out and there's a lake and you jump in, but lakes can be a little bit muddy, The water isn't clear, so we don't really know what we're jumping into. And I think that's what's happening with the world. That's what's happening with what's going to be starting in April with, these eclipse season coming up at the end of the month, and then, all the changes that are going on. I think it's kind of like we don't know what we're jumping into. So are we going to be fearful and not jump into the lake and just, sit on the, dock maybe and be hot and sweaty? Or are we going to say, fuck it, and jump in, choosing to release what scares you and what holds us back and just go for it? And I think that you have to have that mindset, because if you don't just have the mindset of going for it, you're never going to just progress with the rest of the world, and you're just going to be kind of left behind. So this is the quality of March as we're building into that intense April energy that's coming up. So Mercury is in its pre-shadow period on the 18th. So pay attention to what's going on in your life and where this is in your chart, because whatever's going on in your life, then you may have to, so say you're starting something new, you may have to go back and restart it or relearn it or redo it in some way. Hey, sorry, I'm just yelling at my cat. He's going after my plant. But, so, whatever, just kind of prepare yourself. So if you are starting something new, maybe you're not going to have it fine-tuned. Then when Mercury goes retrograde, we're going to go back over that. That doesn't happen until the 1st, and then going back ahead. So we might need to kind of like reconstruct, but start those ideas. Never too late to start, never too early to start, but you may need to fine-tune a little bit after, if you're starting during this pre-shadow period. Anyway, the sun then, actually I'm going to skip that because I kind of have my notes out of order here. So then we have our new moon in Pisces. So that is on March 10th at 20 degrees 17. Again, get your charts up, see where the energy falls. The sun and moon energy are coming together, and they are emphasizing Pisces. Again, the lack of boundaries, lack of conformity, lines, rules blurred, what's to come. So if you're having trouble with this, if you're having trouble, again, with that moving forward, you're going to want to really just kind of meditate on it. Pisces comes more as a mental state, or more of like all of a sudden you just know. It's just kind of like a knowledge that just trickles in that you don't even realize it's happening, but it all of a sudden happens. So meditating, maybe prayer, on what you need to do to let go and move forward into the cardinal season that's coming up. Mercury on the 10th is sextile Pluto. Those ideas, so we have a lot going on the 10th, and Pluto getting involved. Pluto's constantly getting involved because all the planets are just very close together and just feeding off each other. It's ideas with this new moon. It's that Mercury, ideas, Pluto, making things happen, changing the way you used to do things and the new way. What dreams, Pisces, are you dreaming that you need to have become a reality? On the 19th, or what is it, the 18th, I think, I can't read more, 17th, the sun will conjunct Neptune in Pisces. Again, we ask, what do we want? How do we move forward? So the sun, again, conjuncting Neptune is still that I just don't know. Things just might not be clear. So again, meditate and let the thoughts kind of pour in and just know. Just don't try to think, overthink. Overthinking is just not going to do anything for you this month with all this Piscean energy. You're going to want to just let the ideas just flow and just flow in. Meditation is really going to help. On the 18th, Mercury in Aries now, conjuncting the North Node. Take those ideas, those realities, and create what are you destined to create. Like, this is about destiny. This is your North Node that we're talking about. So again, breaking free, just putting it all together, putting the whole month together. So we got to move forward, taking those ideas, taking those Piscean ideas, taking those Neptunian, just everything's just coming and flowing. And how do we then use that to go for what we are meant to be in this life? That North Node energy in Aries. Now we're moving towards it. Let's use it to our advantage. So with the sun moving into Aries on the 19th is, yay, it's a good day. Yay, spring. It's only a few weeks away. Oh, God. And that's why we're inside today, because it's just too cold. And I said I can do my little short ones, my little short videos outside, but for a longer video like this, it's not going to happen. It's just too cold. Spring is on the way, y'all. I am looking forward to it. So enthusiasm is abounding with that cardinal energy on the 19th. So what are you going to do? How are you going to push ahead? So, you know, have those, like, just unchain those shackles, pull them apart, because then on the 21st we have that sun in a sextile to Pluto. So that is that rebirth, that move ahead. So we did the work. We got what we need. We know what we need to do, but we have that rebirth and that ability to let go of the past, let go of what scares us, let go of the fears that we have, and move ahead. Venus then conjuncting Saturn, move ahead, but you have to find balance. So see how it's just, you know, okay, we're going to do this, but we have to have balance. We have to use care and use love, but also use maturity, wisdom, you know, because this is Venus. You know, what do we want? What are our desires? What is our heart most desire? And then conjuncting Saturn, how are we going to go about it in a mature way? So with everything that we've learned, so we have to grow and get to this point by putting in the work. So then, you know, use that Saturn. Saturn isn't always bad. Saturn can really be a positive planet because you get what you deserve if you put in the work with Saturn. It's just not handed to you on a silver platter. You got to work for it. So moving on the 22nd, Mars moves into Pisces, driving ahead in the fog. So Mars in the Pisces, we don't know where we're going. We can't see where we're going, but we're going, because that's Mars. It's moving ahead. It's going forward. Pisces, getting it foggy. We're pushing through. But how do we see things clearly? Because of what we learned. What have we learned? We learned to just know, just take in, just like use your feelings to move ahead. You know, know the facts of things. Again, we're going back to what we've learned throughout the month to be able to move ahead. And on the 24th, a nice Venus sextile to Jupiter might have us overindulging a little bit. I think, you know, with us getting into spring, we're getting excited, maybe starting to get outside a little bit, indulging in things that taste good, feel good, look good. This is Venus that we're talking about. You know how Venus can be, and a sextile to Jupiter. It's all the good, positive to benefics, but there always is that chance of overindulging, because of the 28th, Uranus sextile can have us kind of in a tizzy, a little bit overstimulating, Venus-Uranus sextile anyway, and all that is pleasurable. We might be just overstimulated, overexcited, overindulging in it. Venus and Pisces, it's just that beautiful fog. So don't just let yourself get swept away. Try to stay on course. Try to stay, you know, use that little past Saturn to hold you back a little bit, and just so you don't just float away, just like all nicey, maybe drinking too much, maybe doing other things too much, eating too much, or who knows what else is ever pleasurable for you. Maybe doing that a little bit too much. You want to just take it easy. So during all these pleasurable excesses, we have our first eclipse. So this is where things, I think, take a turn. So we're all nicey, building up, letting go, kind of like, you know, we're meditating, we're letting go of things that bother us, but all of a sudden the eclipse comes in, and like, that's at 5 degrees, 7 Libra. So what do you got going on there? That's a Venusian climax if I ever saw one. So we have, what do you have in Libra? So I know my Sun, my Pluto, and my Mercury are pretty much right there at 3 degrees, my Sun, and then I think Pluto is at 1 degree, and Mercury is, I think, at 5. So pretty much, you know, that's that. It's going to hit me pretty hard, I think. So, and especially that this eclipse is going to be a little bit more intense. So you definitely want to get your chart, like I said, and figure out where all this stuff is going to fall for you. And, you know, that for me is in my 10th house of career. So hopefully it's a positive climax. But we'll see. Anyway, so this can be over unexpected events, you know, with an eclipse. You just don't know. And the eclipse is going to be really strong in the United States. So if you're in the United States, especially along the line from, I think it's Caribou, Maine, all the way down to Texas, pretty much going straight through the middle of the United States, you'll be able to see this oh no, I'm talking about the other eclipse. This is the lunar eclipse. But, you know, this is still going to be very strong. So you got to watch that overindulgence. It could lead to another breakdown. So what was happening to that breakdown earlier in the month? Maybe things that were going wrong, and now maybe you're kind of, it's kind of coming to a head. So the things in the beginning of the month that might have been showing some cracks might be a complete and total breakdown. Things that are unstable are going to be more unstable, or just total ending. But as this is a climax, again, it's that final release, that letting go, trepidations allowing us to progress. But, you know, you got to remember too that the parts that were once shadowed are going to be revealed. So this is what the sun and the moon, the sun is hiding the moon, and then once it comes out, it's going to kind of, you know, things are going to come out of the shadows pretty much. So the eclipse is going to separate, things are going to come out. So with that sun in Aries, that greed, lust, pride, envy, gluttony, sloth, pretty much all of that could cause that breakdown. So you have to be careful. You know, are you going to find out, is there a problem, say with lust, that you find out that something happened, or that someone finds out about you if you did something greed, somebody greedy was maybe being a little greedy, all of a sudden that comes out. Envious, maybe that, you know, things that, jealousy, that gluttony, that sloth, that laziness, like you're not putting in the work, and guess what, you're not going to get the credit, because it's going to be out in the open now. And that I would expect to see also on a mundane level, where things that were previously hidden are going to come out. This is on a collective scale. So like I said, watch the news. You'll see things start popping up about things coming to light. So that is March, or that is the month of March, pretty much in about 20 minutes of time. So I think that's pretty good, but I just wanted to sum it all up for you so you guys can prepare yourselves, get ready for what to expect this month. This month isn't going to be too crazy until we get to the end of the month, but we're going to fine-tune all these aspects in our little shorts throughout the month. So definitely hit your notification bell to get notified, and of course subscribe and tell a friend so that they can come on this journey with us, and we'll help build the channel. And if you guys have anything you want me to focus on in particular, write to me. I'll be happy to focus on that and do a video on that. You can write to me at astrotastrology@gmail, or just shoot me a comment and we'll look into it through there. So we're going to move forward together. We're going to grow together. Check me out on TikTok when we do the shorts. It's just starting my new TikTok channel, so definitely check that out. And I hope to see y'all soon. Bye-bye.